What's up and welcome back to the Good Old Gang Podcast. I am your host, Seven Miller, and I am joined today by Dylan Santiago.
Yes, sir.
Today on the Good Old Gang Podcast, the show where a handful of buds get together to talk about some of the things we love in the world of entertainment, including the latest in Star Wars, Marvel, and more. We're going to be discussing the penultimate episode of The Boys Season 3. You can get the show on youtube.com by searching Good Old Gang Podcast, and we'll be right there for you. To get us started, Dylan, I want to know what you thought about this episode. What are we thinking?
Okay, I'm gonna break the streak. I don't think this was the best episode of the show.
Really?
No.
Okay.
I still think that belongs to episode 6. But
elaborate, bro.
I mean, it just felt like a season finale last one. It's not a bad thing they couldn't top it, but it would have been real hard to top it. I think next episode is definitely gonna be the best one. I got high expectations for it, but this one, I still think it takes number 2.
I mean, I agree with you that this episode definitely wasn't as crazy as last episode for sure. Last episode did feel like a season finale, as we all said last week. But because of that, I feel like it was appropriate for this episode to kind of take a step back and almost act as a breather before what is sure to be a fucking intense hour for the season finale this week. But I don't know. I definitely agree with you that this isn't the best episode of the season, but I would honestly make an argument that it's up there.
It's definitely up there, yeah. It solidified Soldier Boy's spot as I think my favorite character on the show.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we all said last week that we were kind of starting to worry that they weren't treating making him seem as much of an asshole as we know him to be, and this episode totally brought it home that he is an asshole.
They made it very clear now.
Yeah, and Jensen Ackles was just so good in this. This is the best he's been this season, I think, in this episode. Just the way that he just totally fucking chews scenery in every scene he's in, and just brings the asshole notch up to 11. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
I think this may have been the scene that he was talking about where he was like, I can't do that in the opening.
Really? You think it's this scene?
I think that may have. I think, yeah.
The scene where he fucks a cougar?
That may have made him uncomfortable. The scene where he's beaten off in front of the cougars. I think he may have been like, yeah, I don't know if I could do that. And if that is the scene, he sold that shit pretty hard. That was.
I agree. He sold it. I don't know if this is the scene though.
You don't think so?
I don't know. I feel like next week or
you
this
think
week
he's gonna do some shit even more freaky than that.
Maybe I could see some shit with Homelander.
Okay.
Since we're talking about Homelander,
with Homelander,
maybe, dude.
Hold up, not anymore. Not anymore.
What do you mean not anymore?
We'll get to that.
Nah, we could just get to it now. But before we do, we just gotta say we gotta pat ourselves. We gotta pat Justin, who unfortunately couldn't be here, at least not right now, on the back because last week we totally fucking nailed it. We nailed it 100%. This
bro, did Amazon send you your cease and desist yet?
Shit, were we supposed to mention that? I don't know.
Bro.
We had to sign those NDAs, remember?
Oh yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Because he violated that shit.
Nah, I got mine. I didn't sign that shit. Fuck that.
All right.
No, but we got it. The only thing we missed was the whole Russian involvement. But that was kind of the most far-fetched element, and we all agreed on that. But crazy shit.
I mean, I think I still think he's so right that they still haven't revealed who the mom is yet. Obviously it could have just been made in a lab, but I think Stormfront might still, there's a chance they still might reveal her as the mom.
I could totally see that. And I think that would be, honestly, I think that would be the best thing they could do. Because it would just go hand in hand with how fucked up Homelander.
Yeah. That would make
it would make total sense.
Ridiculously fucked up, yeah.
Totally. But overall, how did we feel about the way this twist was delivered at the end here? Even though we predicted it, I feel throughout this episode, you could totally kind of start to suspect it throughout, Like they were like
Yeah,
laying they were laying hints throughout, I felt like, but like it wasn't ever completely obvious exactly.
for sure.
But like the fact that we were able to get it last week, I think that just speaks for itself. We killed it.
Yeah,
But
100%.
with that being said, though, I don't know if I loved that this episode ended just with that twist. Like I thought that was a good scene. Him talking
Oh,
on the
that was
phone
a
with
perfect
Homelander.
scene.
It was a great scene, yeah.
Fall, 1980. She had the bush the size of a Pomeranian. I beat my meat into a cup. That's
That-
top 5 scenes, I think.
Top 5 scenes, more like
Yeah.
top 5 lines in
Dude,
existence,
because
bro.
Jensen Ackles just delivers Soldier Boy in what, like, he just gives zero fucks, no matter like what the context of any situation is.
He does, exactly.
He's just like
he's a
he's
fucked
just
up.
minorly inconvenienced by things.
Yeah. He has no idea that what he's saying is like fucking disgusting ever.
Yeah.
Like he's a fucked up Captain America, literally, and he's played that perfectly throughout the entire season. And this episode, he just like
Perfectly, yeah.
shined in that. But man, dude, I just like I don't think that was just to, like wrap up this point. I don't know if the twist was the craziest part of this episode. You know, I would actually argue that the craziest part of the episode might have been the Black Noir stuff and like actually seeing how those events played out. You know,
You think so?
like I think so because like it was in those flashbacks, which were hilarious, by the way. Like I was laughing my ass off the whole time when that shit first started, where he sees the animated creatures and shit. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I was dead, dude. Like it fit in perfectly with his character, and this shit was just hilarious.
Mhm.
But it was also like super tragic because like in the one flashback scene in Nicaragua, when we see exactly how the events played down, which was cool within itself. We'll talk about that more in a sec. But like in that part where Soldier Boy's just like slamming his brains out and shit, you know, like
Oh, bro, he put up a fight.
yeah, he did, but like
He done.
he fucking the cartoon character, he reaches for the piece of his brain in the flashback,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like you see Noir in real life as he's seeing this shit in his mind. He reaches for his head. Like I thought that was just like a great character moment, like a great beat in that
Bro,
one
that
moment.
entire like
It
whole
was sad.
that whole sort of like series of scenes with Noir, like the whole time I was thinking like how I've been praising we've been praising what's her name that plays the female.
Oh, Kimiko, Karen
Yeah,
Fukuhara,
Kimiko.
I think.
Yeah, Karen
Fukuhara.
Fukuhara.
Yeah.
Like she at least like gets her face, bro. Black Noir
Yeah.
just gets nothing. And I don't know who plays him, but
Yeah, he's great. Like this was more character development than I thought we were ever going to get for Noir. And
Yeah.
like they did it exceptionally well. Like
They
these
did,
were extremely effective scenes, and
Mhm.
it just sets up. They released a teaser for the finale, and at the beginning of it, I didn't watch the whole thing. I didn't want to, but I saw the first like few seconds. It starts out with like it looks like an intense conversation between Noir and Homelander.
Yeah.
So like I'm kind of like worried about Noir. Like I think there's a chance Noir could be the big death of the season, or at
I
least
think
one of
there's
them for
gonna be
sure.
a few of them.
There's probably gonna be a few, but I think Noir is gonna be one for sure. They're setting up some shit with Noir.
Yeah, they're setting up a big fight. I mean, Noirs might fight with the boys.
Yeah,
Like he might join
I could
Butcher.
see that. I could see that.
I could see Butcher, Huey, and Noir versus Soldier Boy, Homelander, the Deep. I think the Deep might die.
You think the Deep might die?
Yeah.
Like, how do you?
It would suck
how
because
do you-
he's got like he's carrying a lot of the comedic relief.
As he usually does, but like I don't know. How do you think that might happen exactly? Like who do you think would kill him? Because I don't see him like.
I would only see him being killed as comedic relief.
By who though? Like by
Like
Butcher?
real fast probably by Starlight.
That'd be the best option for sure.
Yeah.
That would be the
I could see someone's gonna die like right away.
I could see that too. Yeah, I think that
But
the
like
finale is gonna
honestly,
be
it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a big
yeah.
fight. I think. I mean, do you want to get into that now?
Well,
Who
like
might die?
predictions,
Yeah.
we might as well. Yeah, sure.
All right.
And we'll come back to everything else.
Starlight's done. She's gone.
Nah, I can't see that.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't. Maybe it's just because I don't want it to happen. It's how
Okay,
badly I
fair.
don't want it to happen. Like
Yeah.
I guess I can see it, but I don't know. Then again, if it does happen, that would just that would show the world how much of a fucking, like monster Homelander is, because it would probably be him who does it, and
Oh, yeah,
she'd
for
probably be like recording the whole thing as she did in this episode, which was a great scene. Or something. Like the whole world would see that. Like I think no matter what,
I don't know if
I think this season is ending with the whole world like seeing who Homelander is.
you think so.
I think so. I think that's what they've been setting up the whole season. If it
Okay.
doesn't happen, I might actually be a little bit disappointed. I'm not gonna lie, because I feel like they've been setting that up for the past 2 seasons, really, season 2 and this season,
Right.
especially this season, where like some bombshell is about to drop that'll show everyone who he actually is as a person.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll lose his powers. Maybe like Soldier Boy will turn on him, and like this whole father son act, like him saying that he's glad that he's taking the spotlight. Maybe that's just an act, and like he's actually still gonna try to kill him.
Yeah, I think that's
Maybe.
also possible.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's unclear though now. But
They might
I low
fight,
key
yeah.
feel like it could happen. I don't know. Just like Soldier Boy's just like such an asshole that like I don't think that he's gonna side with either Butcher and Huey or Homelander. I think he might just like do his own shit for his
Yeah.
own purposes at this point. Like
I can see
I don't
that.
know. That's just how good Jensen Ackles is though, where I cannot tell like and how good the character is, where I just cannot tell what their motives are at the moment.
Yeah.
Even with the last scene.
I
talking
mean,
about that.
Yeah, I could definitely see Butcher ending up killing Homelander, and then they go on to fight Soldier Boy after.
Well,
like, right
I don't think
after, but-
Homelander's dying.
I
this
hope that's
season.
not the
It's
case.
definitely not going to happen. He might lose
Yeah.
his powers. Some big bombshell might happen, but he's not dying this season.
Okay.
It can't happen. With that being said, I don't want Soldier Boy to die this season either. I feel like that's more of a
No,
possibility.
That's a lot more of a possibility, but I hope
I don't
they
want
keep
it.
him.
They just set up his character in this
Yeah.
episode to be like the biggest asshole in the show, possibly even bigger than Homelander, if we're being honest. Where
Yeah.
like I feel like if they kill him now, it would be a major disservice. Like he could play such a big role.
I don't know
in
if
the
he's
next
more
season.
of an asshole than Stormfront.
That's true. But then again, I mean they fucked, so like they have to have some views that
Yeah,
align,
so
you know?
yeah, true. He might.
And they were in the same like early program too.
Right. You're right.
I don't know. Like that isn't revealed yet. It
Yeah,
could
they
be.
didn't really get into that too much.
Yeah.
So he's
I
probably
think
just
we
evil.
might see that next episode, if anything.
Okay.
But I don't know. I just think like I don't know. I think that do we think that Butcher can do we think there's a possibility Butcher might die from the V? You know, like because we saw in this episode, of course, that like 5 doses of the Temp V will kill you. He's taken
Yeah.
like 4 at
Well,
this point.
so here's the thing. It says when Starlight finds the thing in the lab, it says 3 to 5 doses will kill you.
Right. He's taken
And then
4 at this
if
point
you
though, so we
he's
can only
taken
assume.
4.
Yeah.
But if you look at the timeline, in episode in this episode 7, Huey points out to
that his
to
that
Butcher that
his brain,
his
was,
brain
leaking.
was
Yeah,
leaking.
that was a great moment.
in
by the way.
episode 6 in the beginning, Huey's brain is leaking.
Oh shit,
And
you're
no
right.
one points it out. So
Fuck.
I think he started
Having symptoms already.
yeah, 3 to 5 doses is like depends on like a person's tolerance, I guess. I think Huey has a much lower tolerance than Butcher,
Dude.
and I think Huey might die.
I'm
if he
I'm
takes another
fucking
dose.
concerned about Huey right now, bro.
Yeah.
They're totally setting that up. Like
I
it's
think
totally
it's real
just
possible.
it's very much low hanging fruit that they're setting up right now for everyone to just be worried about Huey and like to think that he's the one who's gonna fucking bite the bullet from taking the temp V. And like, especially with how all this shit with Lenny, this episode, Butcher's brother, we saw the backstory there, which was super depressing, by the way, but it was great character development for Butcher that we hadn't really seen before. So that was great. But like, we saw that like he totally, like, it had some effect on Butcher seeing all that shit again, and like it was just such an infuriating moment when like he doesn't tell Huey
he just
about he just completely lies to
nothing.
him. And so I don't know, like maybe he doesn't, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know,
it's
dude.
not like some revelation that he's making. Like, like when they were in Russia, he kind of started seeing like
But
hallucinating
like,
Huey as his brother. I think he sort of like
but like,
had
how
these
could he?
thoughts of like maybe I'm wrong after that, but like his eyes on the mission were like he's made up his mind where he needs to be
But
just as bad as
I just
Homelander
don't
to
see
beat him.
how he's willing to put Huey's life on the line after like he realizes like he's doing the same thing that he did with Lenny. Like
I think he's convinced himself that Huey's making his own choice. Like he's sort of
maybe,
just
but like he still should know to stop,
lying
which he
to himself.
does.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he's gonna stop it.
You think so?
I don't know, because I also don't. What I really don't know is if he's gonna take the 5th dose himself.
Oh, 100%. I think he is.
You think that, Butcher?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you think that maybe he's just using Huey because he knows he's taken less doses than him? That he's not going to take the 5th dose, but he'll let Huey take another dose because he thinks he's safe? That's what I'm possibly thinking.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think Butcher's going to take
also
that 5th dose.
I don't know. So that would mean he would die, though. Either he dies from that, or he takes the last of the permanent V that there's still a bit left after Kimiko that we saw. Do you think that's a possibility? Because I could see that.
I can see that, yeah.
It's either that or he dies.
I think he might just like, I think he might take the temp V to fight Homelander and then die. He'll fight Homelander. I think he's gonna win and then die.
I can't see either Butcher or Homelander dying until the final season of this show, because they're both so like, when people think of this show, they think of either of them. You know, they're the identifying like features of this show,
right?
For sure, the most iconic characters, definitely, I would say. But yeah, I mean, if they do kill either of them, it would be crazy.
5th season.
They are. They totally are.
They're gonna do a 5th.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know if that's been confirmed yet, but like, I can see it ending at season 5. I can't really see it ending at season 4.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I don't know. You think it could end next season?
I could see them exposing Homelander.
It just depends how the season ends. If that happens in the next episode, and season 4 is just all about the repercussions of that and Homelander going crazy, then I could possibly see that. But then again, I feel like they could just like have all that happen throughout all next season, and then have season 5 be the season where they just have to fucking kill him, and then it just ends, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like it could go either way. But yeah, but I forget, did you say that? Do you also think that the next episode is going to end with the bombshell moment, or do you think that might happen next season? The bombshell moment where just like Homelander goes berserk.
I'm not sure. I could see him losing his powers before he even gets the chance to.
You think so?
Which would be disappointing, yeah.
I could possibly see that too. Like, there's so many routes,
but like I don't
that they could take.
This is way too open-ended now.
Yeah, I'm very eager to see what they do. I think it's going to be great. Regardless, they're going to be like probably upwards to 7.
We need Justin to violate his NDA again.
Really, we do. Like, I need to know, like, right now.
Yeah.
I guess the next thing we could talk about is the one thing I wanted to bring up is, well, we mentioned it before. We could just like go over this quickly. Just the stuff with the Deep this episode. How, like you said, he's just total comic relief. That scene with fucking Ambrosia and his wife hilarious
Ambrosia's
shit.
my second favorite character.
I agree. Like a lot of strong character development in the scene. She just wants to fuck, you know. She's bi. So
I think Ambrosia might die though. I think either his wife is gonna kill Ambrosia.
I can see that, and that would be
or
hilarious.
That would be funny, yeah. Or I just don't see Ambrosia making it out.
She's a mollusk. Get your pronouns right.
Yeah,
bro.
honestly.
But I don't know. What should we talk about next? For real though. I guess we could talk about the scene with Maeve and Homelander. Like that was a good scene.
Yeah.
Just how immediately when Homelander comes in, like he tries to be all fucking condescending and make her afraid of him in that situation and shit. But like she immediately sees that he's got concealer on him, that he's got the bruise. Yeah. And she just like tells him that she's so happy to see him scared and that it's like a top 3 moment in her life.
Yeah.
And like he just replies just like by saying that he's keeping her alive to use her eggs. Shit is so creepy, bro.
He's
creepy for that
level, shit. Yeah. That's some freak shit.
Yeah.
But I think Starlight's gonna break her out next episode.
Yeah, I definitely think so too.
I hope so.
She's definitely getting out. But like just Anthony Starr's performance in this scene was just brilliant. Like as usual, but like in this scene in particular, it was top notch. Just the way he delivered those lines in a way that he truly believes is like not creepy at all. And it's just like it's so good. Like he's a monster, and like he can't.
And he's able to like play Homelander and deliver it in a way where Homelander has like zero self-awareness. Exactly. To like how much of a monster he is. Also, I know we were talking about it last episode about the comics.
Yeah.
And how in the comics, this is a bit of a spoiler for the comics. If you don't want to spoil.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Black Noir is a clone of Homelander.
Oh yeah. We talked
and it's revealed that Homelander wasn't the one that did all the horrible things. It was Black Noir. It was Black Noir that did it. And they I feel like they're keeping that same dynamic with like the scenes where he's in his penthouse looking in the mirror.
Right.
I think he might have like 2 different personalities.
I could see
like one where he's like a scared little kid, like the same scared kid who was like getting experimented on, because he's talking about like how like that Homelander in the mirror is talking about how he got him through like the lab, kind of like how kind of like how if he would have invented like that Homelander in the mirror like Moon Knight.
Right. Yeah. No, I could totally see that. Like I could definitely see him having just a type of multiple personality disorder like that.
Like a second. I feel like they've kind of been setting that up. All the horrible things.
Yeah, but also like I don't know if I would love that. I feel like that like it's not a total cop out. Like it's definitely not the type of cop out that like him just having a clone would be. But like I still kind of just like the idea of like it just being him, you know.
Yeah.
Like he uses,
and I think it is like I don't know. Like he talks like.
I mean, like he's probably talked to himself like his entire life. Like as a kid, he's all he had. Like he's the only friend that he had. Like that's what he says in that moment where he talks to himself in the mirror. And I don't know if that's like I don't think it's other personality taking over. Like I think it's just his imaginary friend being himself.
Right. I don't know if it's a whole other personality, but it's kind of like I think it speaks to how like going back all the way to that one scene I keep bringing up when he first sees the footage of Soldier Boy in Midtown, where he just gets
so scared.
He just completely goes like insecure.
Yeah.
And tries to put on like this faked act. And it's kind of like when I think the Homelander in the mirror was talking about how all he wants is just to be loved.
Yeah.
And they kind of like dig into that like whole insecure side of him.
Yeah, and we're gonna see that come to a head next episode with Soldier Boy coming out as his dad, you know? Yeah. Which is gonna be interesting as fuck. Because that's something he's never had before. And like you just said, it's something he's always wanted. So it'll be interesting to see, especially if Soldier Boy is serious, it's gonna be interesting to see how his character maybe changes from these interactions that he's going to have next episode.
Right.
So we'll just have to see about that. But
Mhm.
the other big scene that we got of Homelander this episode was him at the rally for that dude running for president. Now he totally just uses it as an opportunity
Just
to
shit on Starlight.
exactly just say that she's fucking trafficking kids in like her youth program, one of her youth programs.
Mhm.
Total bullshit. And we'll come back to this when we talk about MM, but how the stepdad is there just eating that shit up, like which is a on point metaphor for
it's a whole ass testament to just how
I guess we
just
can just like talk
reckless
about
the
that real
media
quickly.
is, yeah.
Just like how he so easily believes that. And this
Mhm.
whole scene was just totally a metaphor, as so much of the show is, for like MAGA rallies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like I loved what they did with MM and the stepdad in this episode. Like it really just shined a light on kind of like real world issues in terms of like co-parenting, I guess.
Mhm.
Like it was just really interesting the way they did it. Like it's like a real world exploration that is like,
and just the whole Soldier Boy like as a representation of COVID.
Yeah.
In a way, how like
saying that it's safe to go outside and shit like that. Yeah, it's just so good. Like it's what the show does best. Totally, just to a T. And like that was just such a good scene. And the way it ended with his daughter seeing him just like knock him out was sad as well. But like, you gotta admit, dude was off.
It was
dude
sad,
was off for
but,
saying
like,
that shit. Like he deserved it.
100%.
Hopefully it works out for him next episode. Hopefully he just gets hopefully he gets back together with his wife is all I'm saying, because this fucking this guy's an idiot.
You should just show him the plane video.
Dead ass. Like
just be like, hey yo, here's this video. Fuck you. You'll never have it.
I hope that just gets the fuck out in the world at the end of the I feel like that's what they're building towards, because they set that up at the beginning of the season. That would be the perfect bombshell. But I don't know. Like I just need that dude to like be put in his place properly, more than just be knocked out.
For sure.
It would
just be really easy for him to just like, I feel like it'd be easy for him to just prove that
totally,
because Homelander's done so much like messed up shit.
Yeah,
they have dirt on him.
Totally, 100%, especially Starlight with Supersonic and everything.
I can't wait to see the satire on how Ashley spins that shit.
Yeah, just a quick note on Ashley.
Starlight,
the scene she had this episode of A-Train. That was a crazy moment. Just like him waking up. First of all, the fact that he's just alive was crazy enough to see, because I thought he was dead at the end of last episode, you know?
No, this is what I was expecting.
I know you were expecting it, yeah. But like,
I think he's definitely gonna die though next episode. I feel like he's gonna stand up to he's gonna stand up to Homelander. Man. I think he's gonna join Starlight.
I feel like it's too soon for that, because they just faked it out like that, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to see. I could see it, but I feel like it just might be a little too soon, especially with everything else going on.
Goes back into like the whole corporate mindset of like, are you cool with talking shit about Starlight? Yeah, sure.
He's cool with that, but he's not cool with the fact that they're making a documentary about his, or not a documentary, like
my god,
movie about his life. That's just not about his with Tom. Hilarious. But when he's told that he has the heart of what's his name again? Blue Hawk. Yeah, that he has Blue Hawk's heart. And how like when he's told that, like you just hear the heart monitor start to like go faster and faster, and in that moment the scene just starts to spiral out of control in terms of like him being uncomfortable with everything that Ashley says. It was just like a perfect scene
for sure
in that way, and I feel like it's kind of what his character deserves, low-key. So which sucks, but it's just what it is. Hopefully this is the start of his redemption arc. Like he's already been on that path, but like he needs it now.
He's one of the few that fact that they kept him redeem himself.
Exactly. And the fact that they kept him alive, they have to have kept him alive for a reason, you know? I hope that reason is to truly redeem him, because otherwise, like, what's the anymore, really. But yeah, that was a solid scene. But getting back now to the rally, I guess. I thought it was cool on that scene how we almost got kind of like a throwback to that dream sequence in season 2, but it almost happened for real with like him just lasering the crowd when he sees the vision of Soldier Boy just walking in. How he just quickly snaps out of that. Crazy shit. I could see something like that actually happening. Like maybe not anymore, but like with Soldier Boy at least. But
yeah,
it's just another reason to me that like they're building up to something big happening. Like there that he's gonna break next episode and just go berserk.
Just jumping for joy to see him drink some milk again.
Yeah. I mean, that was on my that was my number 1 for my wish list of things to see this season. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. So like I'm glad we got it. Yeah.
No, I was waiting on that cow.
You're waiting on the cow, yeah. I mean, like the moment we saw that scene in the trailer, I thought it could have been a scene from Herogasm. I thought like it might have been hinting that he was gonna fuck a cow this season.
That would have been insane.
Yeah, I feel like if Newman didn't walk in on him so quickly, that could have been where that scene landed. But I guess we'll never know.
Shit, maybe.
The fact that she shows up though, in that scene and just continues to lay on the fact that she doesn't have a side in this. Like she doesn't have a horse in this race. She's just in it for herself.
She's just going for everyone. Like after Starlight says no, she's like, all right, let me go for Homelander.
Yeah. I mean, like with all that, like I feel like we're definitely going to see something big happen with her next episode. Like I could see her dying for sure. Like I think they're setting up her trying to kill Homelander, maybe Homelander or Soldier Boy, just like for her own purposes. And I could see her being killed by either Soldier Boy or Homelander for trying to do that shit next episode. But like she would have to get really bad for her to try that at this point.
I could see her coming out of this as the only one with a win.
I could see that too. Just and like she's playing neutral, but she also is kind of playing to Homelander's side because she gave him Ryan's address in that scene.
Is that what she gave him?
That's what she gave him.
Oh shit.
So we're getting that next episode too.
Okay.
We're probably gonna have a granddad, dad, and son situation. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Like she's safe for now, but like I could still see something big happening with her. Like it's gonna happen eventually. If not next episode, it'll happen next season. But they've been laying down the seeds like hard this season with her, and I feel like it's just gonna get to the point where
I could understand where she was coming from for a little bit, but like
I don't know what she's doing.
She's irredeemable now.
She gave him the address to stay safe, I guess, but like
I don't know, the whole world isn't safe now.
Exactly.
That was the only thing
Ryan's not
over
safe.
him.
Yeah. Just like thinking about that, I don't even know how that could go down.
Yeah, and Ryan really isn't safe now, like because of the scene with Maeve where he's in there and he literally says like, "Oh, our kids would have been twice as strong as Ryan's."
Yeah. Yep.
So I feel like he kind of doesn't even give a shit about him. I mean, like obviously he probably does.
I think he does care about Ryan,
but I think
a fucked up way.
It
like
would
we
be
saw in season 2.
Yeah. But I think it would be easier than they're letting on for him to just be like, all right, let me try again. Kind of like Invincible.
I agree. I just want to throw this question out there now that we're kind of on this subject. Do you think that there is the slightest possibility that exists that Homelander could be redeemed?
No.
At all?
No. Unless it was a second personality responsible for everything.
Yeah.
But there's absolutely zero chance. No.
Yeah, I agree. And I hope they don't try to redeem him with Ryan or anything really.
Yeah.
But like he's, as we've said before, he's a sympathetic character 100%, even though he's so fucked up.
Yeah. In a weird way.
Yeah. Which is the best part about his character, honestly. The fact that we are able to sympathize with him, but that he is this just terrible person that just can't be redeemed. It's what makes him so great. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see how that all plays out. I don't know. I've got expectations, but I'm keeping them like close to my chest, I guess, at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that, one moment I wanted to talk about, we could talk about the whole, I forget his name, but the mind dude in this episode. I thought he was I thought those scenes with him were Mindstorm. Yeah, I thought the scenes with him were intense in like a really good way. I thought that scene with the priest and the nun was hilarious. It was a cool like showing of like how crazy his powers can actually be. I kind of wish he stuck around a little longer, I'm not gonna lie, because I just thought he was kind of cool. But yeah, just especially like everything he did with Butcher and how it ended with him telling Soldier Boy about how Homelander's his son. I thought it all played out well, and his death was brutal as fuck. But yeah, it was some good shit there.
That's just another that was another group of scenes that just kind of made him my favorite character when they're just walking through the woods.
Yeah, and he's so fucking paranoid.
He's just so paranoid. Just like every couple of minutes, he's just like, "Wait, did you hear that?" So and then they kind of set that up where you're like, where after he kills the priest, you're like, "Oh damn, he's like his paranoia is at a hand."
Especially the fact that he's a fucking fraud.
Yeah.
In like how he didn't storm Normandy or do any of that shit.
Yeah.
Like, and how Huey confronts him and it just totally gets him punched to oblivion at the end.
Yeah.
It was just so good with showing exactly how much of a pompous asshole Soldier Boy is. We needed this for his character. Now we got it, and it perfectly sets up what we might see next week. In that we don't know what we're gonna see next week, which is perfect. But yeah, I thought that was all perfect. How he just has the macho persona, the macho personality, even though it's all fake. What the best part about that is, in my opinion, is that he doesn't realize how much of a fake he actually is. I think so. I think that's cool. Mm-hmm. And it goes perfectly with his character. But we also get
there's a delusion there, kind of like with Homelander.
Yeah,
the same way almost.
We also get though with Soldier Boy this episode, and Frenchie kind of like looking into what his weaknesses might actually be in terms of like what might actually knock him out. They find that the gas in Russia might knock him out, but they're likely not going to be able to get it. I liked all this stuff with and Frenchie, these couple scenes they share. I like how they're both just kind of in a place right now where they're so anxious and like kind of scared to go up against Soldier Boy right now because they're worried about themselves, and Frenchie's also worried about Kimiko and everything. That Frenchie's going back to the drugs, and MM's just going crazy right now with his OCD, and they both referenced that. I felt like that was a good character moment for both of them, and we also got the callback to the joke from last episode, the great joke. When Frenchie says it will be the greatest sorrow of my life that I missed Herogasm. I was like so glad they called that back for some payoff. How both and Butcher said that how disappointed Frenchie will be that he had to miss last episode.
Yeah,
great shit. I thought great callback. But with the Frenchie and Kimiko stuff this episode, I thought it was the best it's been. Like this is what this whole season's been leading to with the two of them. I think like just them realizing that. I loved how Kimiko tells him that like admits they both admit that the kiss was weird, but it's only because there's so much more to each other than that, like their family. And the fact that she wants to get back on the V and get her powers back to be able to protect her family was such a great moment,
right,
for both of them. And it's heartbreaking, yet it's great because she says she has that great line where she says that when she first lost her powers and she felt Frenchie, it was different than she'd ever felt him before. Like she could actually feel him when she was never able to do that in the past because of how strong she was. And it was just like really sad. Like when she got it back at the end and Frenchie just lets her feel his arms one last time for real. It was great character work for the both of them in this whole season, and especially this episode. I thought this was probably the best character development we've seen for them in this episode in the whole series. And I just care so much about their relationship after this season that like I will be heartbroken if like anything happens to either of them. Luckily, it doesn't look like anything's going to happen to Kimiko anymore unless Soldier Boy hits her again. But something could happen to Frenchie. I don't really see it though anymore. I did see it last episode, but I don't really see it anymore. Luckily. But I don't know. What do you think of all of this with the two of them this episode?
I like how Kimiko kind of got over her whole thing of like
Another
she's-
outstanding performance by
Oh
Aaron
yeah, for
Fukuhara
sure,
as well.
for sure.
But sorry, you were saying.
No, yeah, I like how she got over that whole thing of she's the monster, not her
Yeah.
powers.
Yep.
Because she was kind of just like trained by it. Like none of that was her fault.
Yeah, she was like kidnapped
She
as a
was
kid and forced
kidnapped
to
and
serve in
trained by
this like
terrorists.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I just like how she got over that, and she's kind of realizing that her powers aren't really a curse. Like she has a choice to use them for good.
Right.
I like how they went with that. And then also going back to them figuring out the gas, like I don't think they're going to be able to get it for Soldier Boy, but
Yeah.
I could see if it works on Soldier Boy, you think there's a chance it works on Homelander?
I think it's possible, but haven't they also I guess not. They haven't found a way to like knock him out or anything yet, right? That we've seen.
Not
But
that
I feel like it's
know of.
easier to knock out Homelander than it is Soldier Boy because
You think so?
yeah, because like I don't know, Homelander is like invulnerable to a point, I feel like, whereas Soldier Boy is just completely invulnerable, as we've seen, you know?
Mhm.
Because like Homelander didn't have the same experimentation that Soldier Boy did, of course. So like and he doesn't have the exact same powers in terms of how
Right.
invulnerable he really is. So I don't know. I could be wrong, but
Okay.
it's just like clear that Homelander is weaker than
Yeah.
Soldier Boy, as we saw last episode.
I could see them ending up using the gas on Homelander.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that. Like
Like if things don't work out with Soldier Boy and Butcher.
yeah. I don't know if they're gonna get the chance to do that though. You know,
Well, I could see it like coming back next season
maybe.
into the mix.
But I don't know. I feel like they need to come up with like a cooler way to actually take him down than just to gas him.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
At this point, at least, like I could have seen that maybe like last
Well, just
season
to,
or
like
something.
stop him to slow him down.
Right? Yeah, yeah. It's possible.
Like if he goes for Ryan.
Totally. No, I could totally see that. I guess like one last. I'm forgetting if we like really missed anything else major, but something we haven't really touched on as much yet is the stuff with Huey and Butcher exactly, and the stuff in the woods. At least we talked about stuff in the end with him lying to him about the V, but how Huey is so desperate to save Butcher from Mindstorm, right?
Yeah.
I keep forgetting. He's so desperate to save him because he sees him as family, you know, like
Right,
he
yeah.
has the line.
He saved me so many times.
Exactly. I don't want to be
Yeah.
someone who leaves people behind. I want to be someone who saves his family, and for better or worse, he's family. Like that was just,
Oh yeah, to Mindstorm.
yeah, like it was just such a, I feel like that was just like the main theme of this episode. Like Huey admitted that he sees Butcher as family,
Yeah.
and Butcher, it's clear that like he sees Huey as the brother that he lost.
Which kind of
Kimiko sees Frenchie as his family and everything.
yeah.
It was I feel like that was the main theme of this episode, and they played it perfectly. But
Oh,
no,
for
you were
sure,
you were
yeah.
gonna say?
No, yeah. I mean, it drew a line between Butcher and Huey to show that like Huey still had good in him.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
in the way that he's supposed to be like Butcher's anchor. Like he's not completely off the deep end where like he's not willing to sacrifice family to get Homelander, where like Butcher is.
Yeah,
No.
and we'll see next episode probably, which will be really hard, really tough for Huey. That when he realizes that Butcher is actually willing to sacrifice him after he just saved his life. You know, after Huey just
Yeah.
saved Butcher's life. Like
Which is like is
Butcher's only saved Huey up to this point, really, it seems, because it's been convenient to him.
yeah.
Like, wouldn't you agree? Like, I don't know if Huey realizes that.
I mean,
Like, maybe that's not true in every single case, but in most cases, I feel like it is.
I'm trying to think back to past seasons where like if he
Me too
ever
right
got
now.
soft and like I feel like there may have been a time.
I think it
where-
happened like once
Yeah.
for sure, but like it's not a normal occurrence for sure.
But then again, like, do you think if Butcher was just like honest with him, you think he would have still been on board? Because there was when they were fighting him in
Honest
episode
about the
6,
temp
he was
V.
like, "I'm not leaving." When
Oh,
Soldier
wait,
Boy was
honest
gonna
about what exactly?
about the temp V.
Like, do I think if he was honest, Huey would stay?
Yeah, you think Huey would have still taken it and
I don't
fought
think
him?
Huey would have taken the V still, but I think he still would have stuck with Butcher for sure. Like, I think that if he doesn't tell Huey and he lets him take it again, and Starlight's the one who tells him, and there's a moment where like, Butcher, you knew, and everything, I feel like that'll really tear their relationship apart.
Yeah,
Um, which I think is exactly what might happen,
I think
unfortunately.
that's exactly
But
how
yeah,
that's
like,
gonna go.
I don't know. I just think it's really possible, and it just sucks because yeah, I mean, they both see each other as family, just like one is more willing to actually accept it than the other. And the whole thing with Butcher and Lenny, in how they made it seem kind of like Butcher is the mask. Like it, they kind of built in this episode, I feel like, just like we were saying with Homelander having multiple personalities, that the same might be true of Butcher. And that Billy might be one personality and Butcher might be another. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Like Butcher is the side of Billy that is his father,
Mm.
that he's been told his whole life as a kid that he's turning out like his dad, and he's had opportunities to prevent that, but like he never did. And because he never did that, he feels responsible for his brother's death.
Oh
And
yeah,
that's what like sealed him into becoming
they
Butcher like
both have
permanently.
this upbringing where it's like almost in a way not their fault for how shitty they turned out.
Yeah, it's not their fault, but
It's
like
almost
they could
more.
have they
It's
could have
almost like
prevented it.
more of Butcher's fault than Homelander's.
Oh, totally. And as we saw in Diabolical, in episode 8 of Diabolical, like
Mhm.
Homelander didn't start out as a shitty person. Like he genuinely wanted to do good, but he accidentally killed all those people, and it was all covered up. Where like that was the tipping point that sort of pushed him onto the evil path that he's gone on, because
Yeah.
like he saw how corrupt the world really is in those moments, and
Hmm.
that he doesn't have to be accountable for his actions because Vought will just like cover them up and he'll look like a hero no matter what. So I think
Right.
that's what set him on that path. And I think what set Butcher on his path was Lenny's death, and like him being able to prevent that and not preventing it,
Right. Right.
which is tough, and like a really good, like almost dynamic between him and Homelander that this episode created, I feel like, because like it that's another thing that this season has been building towards, I feel like, just like showing that how alike Butcher and Homelander really
Oh yeah,
are.
they're starting to be like no different.
Yeah. Which is crazy. Like I can't see Butcher ever siding with Homelander or vice versa.
Like
But
obviously
like,
Homelander's a lot worse.
yeah, totally.
Like he's
But
evil,
like,
but
is he though?
Butcher's like for sure.
I think, well, yeah,
I think
I do agree
Butcher's
with
just
you.
dragging
I
himself
think they're
down
both
to his
evil,
level.
low key.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I think if Butcher doesn't tell Huey and the shit that we just talked about does happen, I think that will seal Butcher being just like all out, just plain evil,
Hmm.
which will be tough. But yeah, I'm just excited to see how next episode turns out. I think it's gonna be crazy. I think there's gonna be a lot of revelations. I think there's gonna be a lot of great moments, a lot of brutal action, I'm sure, as is being hinted, I feel like, but and as is
I'm
on
hoping
par
to
with
God
this
that
show.
octopus makes it out alive, bro.
Me too, man. I hope it gets back to the ocean. It wasn't living a life in that
Live
tank,
free.
and it's not living a life now, you know.
No.
But
Well, I mean, maybe it
I
is.
mean, yeah, it does seem kind of happy with the deep, but I'm not gonna assume anything. Yeah, that if there's one thing the show has taught me, it's not to assume anything with these fucking characters. So
For sure, for sure.
yeah, but I don't know. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about in this episode? Anything we missed that you wanted to mention?
Um,
Another shout out to Paul Reiser, real quick, as the legend. That was a great
Oh,
scene.
for sure. Yeah,
Soldier Boy did the same what Pantyhose did to finger fucking. Great line.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was almost one of my favorite like ways an episode was written, as far as like them operating out of the Legends place.
Oh, I agree.
And
Yeah,
going on that
it's
road trip.
it's a great character too. Paul Reiser killed it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that wraps up
I
everything
think we
I
got
wanted to say.
everything.
You think we got everything?
We talked about Starlight filming
Yeah,
Homelander.
right, which was great. I'm interested to see what the repercussions of that exactly will be, because they didn't show that.
Oh
this
yeah, I
episode.
can't wait to see how Ashley spins that.
Yeah,
Or maybe
that'll
she
be-
just
that'll
won't
be-
be. I mean,
I don't know, because like I feel like that was pretty
I'd love to see
hard
what
evidence,
the
hard
what the
proof.
stepdad has to say.
Yeah, I'm curious too. I definitely want to see how that wraps up.
Yeah.
Wraps up. But I don't know. We're gonna see that this Friday, and we'll talk about it next week for The Boys season 3, the finale. Crazy shit. But until then, let us know in the comments what you've been thinking of The Boys season 3 so far, what your expectations are for the finale. Do they line up with ours? Are they even crazier? Hopefully, like, just crazy shit happens, and obviously it will, but hopefully it's a great finale.
It's gonna be a little bit
I hope
crazy.
the finale is just as great as the whole season's been. This has been the best season of the show so far, and I hope it just ends perfectly.
I have no doubt it will.
But until then, Dylan, thank you for joining me again today to
For
talk
sure,
about this
for
show.
sure.
We'll see you again next week. Goodbye.